Awesome. So again, welcome everyone. My name's Jessie. I'm going to be your Hope to Women ambassador today. Thank you again so much for everyone dropping your information in the chat. Again, just love seeing what you're working on. And we'll talk about Verizon Small Business Digital Ready today and how it can help your business. A little bit about me. And we're going to talk about Hope to Women and what Hope to Women actually is here in a second. So I work for Hope to Women and the Association of Women's Business Centers. We are a 501c nonprofit. We support the network of women's business centers across the country. And I'm going to talk about what those women's business centers are and what they do. I also am a small business owner. So I've walked you're in your shoes. I've actually started and sold one business that was in commercial IT services. And now I have a small business doing Airbnb hosting and co-hosting for other hosts, which is really fun. So that's a little bit about me. And I'm also going to talk about how I use the platform for my own business. Awesome. Thank you so much in the chat. And I see you're out of St. Louis. I'm actually located in Columbia, Missouri. So right down the street from you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're here obviously to talk about Verizon Small Business Digital Ready and the $10,000 grant that is open. I am going to, if you haven't already signed up for VSBDR, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the chat the link to do that. We're going to want that either during the call or after the call to get signed up on the platform. Completely free platform. It's provided by is that they don't started here at the Association of Women to be a Verizon salesperson. And luckily, once I dove into the platform, I realized this is so much more. And I've been operating this platform as a partner of this project for over 2 years now. So super excited to share with you all today, especially the grant, which we're all here to talk about. So the link I just dropped in the chat, HOPE2Women.org/Verizon, that's going to take you right to our landing page to get signed up if you haven't already. Again, it's completely free sign up. Going to just ask you some questions about your business. So let's go back here and talk about what is Hope to Women. I think a lot of you came to Hope to Women through the Hope to Women Instagram or our newsletter, but a lot of people still aren't sure what it is. So Hope to Women is a centralized platform connecting women to the network of women's business centers. And I'll talk more about what women's business centers are momentarily. But what can you expect at Hope to Women? You get connected to that no-cost business coaching. We help women get access to capital, and it's part of a community. So our community, our Hope to Women community is growing. We're really excited to introduce later this year an actual community where you can all talk to each other and use each other for peer mentoring. But really the two things we focus on the most is that no-cost business coaching through the women's business centers, as well as helping women get capital ready and figure out where can I get funds to start my business, whether that's a commercial loan, an SBA loan, grants, microloans, all that type of stuff. And we do offer lots of training on that as well. So what is the deal with these women's business centers, right? Like if you've never heard of one, what are they? So they're community organizations that provide low to no cost coaching, training, connections, all the things you need to start and grow a small business. It might sound too good to be true, but it's not. These are actually all funded by your tax dollars. They're a federally funded program in the United States. So there is 152 women's business centers across the United States and Puerto Rico. They are all over. There's probably one near you that you didn't even know was there up until now. We serve everyone, including men. That's a surprise, right? So we do actually have about 20% of our client base every year is men that come to a women's business center, which is pretty cool. They see that we've got the resources they need. And how these centers are held accountable is with goals involving what they're there to do, which is launch small businesses, grow them through funding, and serve them in that one-on-one coaching. And they are mandated by law to serve socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. So, but we are serving everyone. And I do want to launch a poll really quickly here, which is, I guess we have too many polls here. What is this? Okay, I'm going to launch this. So the question is, what do you know about women's business centers? Either have you ever heard of one? Have you ever possibly worked with one. But most of the time, the clients that come through our Hope to Women platform have never heard of a women's business center or have never used one. And so the network does serve about over 100,000 women every year. So I see that nobody on this call is actively participating with a women's business center. That's awesome. You guys are in the right place today. Great. And I love to tell the story of the picture here. This is actually one of my clients. So prior to me coming into this role, I actually ran the Missouri Women's Business Center located in Columbia, Missouri. And this woman right here, Shelly, was one of my clients. So she came to us. She at the time was just doing a little toasted ravioli pop-up. And so I know my St. Louis person knows about toasted ravioli. She was, and I tell her story with her full permission, she was approaching bankruptcy. She had nowhere to go with her business. She didn't know what to do. And that was about 4 years ago. Now, love that. Somebody's making T-Ravs for dinner right now. Shelly now operates a full-scale Italian deli in Columbia. She has 26 employees. She's just really made it. And so, you know, the journey that she took with the assistance of the Women's Business Center really highlights what Women's Business Centers do. So I always love talking about Shelly. And if you're ever in Columbia, you can come visit her at her pasta shop. So you can see here, there is WBCs all over, and this is actually where the pins are just their headquarters. Each one also has tons of district offices. They are spread out all over the country. So this is actually not even a great representation. It's probably double or triple the number of pins you see here across the country. So how you can get connected to those women's business centers after this call is 2 ways. One, on our website, which is just HOPE2Women.org, you can click the button that says Women's Business Centers, and there is a WBC locator there. I will say that if you don't find one close to you, just contact us. There's actually been a bunch that just opened up recently, and they might not even be on the locator yet. The second way is that you can click that request assistance button. So what happens with that request assistance button is you are sent an email and you're able to sign up for a 15-minute kind of onboarding process with the Hope to Women team. What we would do there is we'd say, hey, Laura, what are you working on? What is your need? Like, what is your burning question for your business? We'll help you get connected to resources, and then we'll connect you to the Women's Business Center near you. Again, all of this is totally free and funded by the federal government. We're just here to connect more women like you all to this. I see in the chat, yes, absolutely. If you're a franchisee, you're a small business owner, love that. Definitely can help you. You also don't have to be in business to visit a Women's Business Center. If you're just in the idea stage, you can also visit. All right, let's see here. Let me make sure I've covered all that. All right, now we're going to move in and start talking about what we're all here to talk about today, which is the Small Business Digital Ready platform, as well as the $10,000 grant that they have open right now and best practices of how to stand out in your application. So I'm going to launch one more poll really quickly to ask if you are already signed up for the platform, if you've taken any courses. So if you haven't signed up yet, if you have, but you haven't taken any courses, or if you've taken at least one course on the platform. Oh, great. I see it's a mix. It's a total mix. We've got some that have not signed up. If you haven't signed up, make sure you use that link that I put in the chat. The reason being, selfishly, we get credit for bringing people to the platform, and that's how we're able to keep providing these services. So the HOPE2Women.org/Verizon takes you right to our landing page and gets you started. And that's also how we kind of can help you along the lines if you run into any trouble with the platform, getting connected to those resource partners and whatnot. So if you can either do it now while you're on the call, or you can just wait until the call is over to visit that HOPE2Women.org/Verizon and get you started. I'm super excited for those of you who have also taken classes already. That's great. So now I'm going to shift out of my PowerPoint and we're going to actually go on the platform and do a little bit of a tour. Even for those of you who have already signed up, if you've taken a class over the last month or so, you've seen that they've redesigned the platform completely. So luckily, if you haven't seen that, we're going to do a little tour right now. So I'm going to change to my other screen. All right, so once you are on the platform, You're either going to sign in or register based on whatever you haven't done so far. So for those of you who haven't signed up yet, you're going to click that register now button. When you do that, it's going to ask you some very, very, very basic questions about your business and a couple things like, what are you interested in? Money, capital, marketing help, all of that good stuff. So you would click register now. Again, it's the HOPE2Women.org/Verizon. And then you'll sign in if you've already started with the platform. So I'm going to sign in now. And we're going to do a little tour so you know what you're doing. Oh, would help if I used the right password. Okay, we'll try a third time. How about that? That's how it always happens when you're trying to present, right? Okay, so once you are in the platform, it's going to deliver you to your landing page where, based on some of the things that you have chosen in your registration, like say that you chose operations as something you're really interested in, it's going to give you some classes that you might be interested in right at the beginning. But if you scroll down, you're going to see A, upcoming events, which we're going to look at, and B, suggested courses. So on the platform, there's two ways that courses are delivered to you. One are these on-demand courses. So you're going to see those under the suggested courses. You can see what's new, you can see what's popular, but you can also just click view all and go into all of these different classes. The reason classes are important, not only are they great for your business, but in order to be eligible to apply for the grant, you have to take at least 2 classes. All right. And those classes have to be in this calendar year so far. So we've seen where some people have already been on the platform for, a year or two. But if you took 2 classes last year, you're going to have to take 2 more to be eligible for this grant. So make sure that as long as you've taken the class, 1 or 2 classes, 2 classes to be eligible, starting January 1st to now, you can apply for the grant. The grant is open until June 28th. So you have between now and June 28th to take those 2 classes and be eligible to apply. So we're going to look at that. I love so many of these classes. And what's really fun is they have recently started introducing some micro classes that are even shorter than the ones that you're used to. So you can see a lot of the historical classes on the platform are 36, 31 minutes. But some of these, like I just took this one yesterday, which was choosing the best SBA loan for me. That one was only 13 minutes, which is awesome, right? And honestly, you guys, that class is really great if you don't have an understanding of what SBA loans are. Most of the classes also come with some type of asset that you can download afterwards. So in this class, for example, it came with a downloadable sheet that like really clearly, you guys, I've been in this world for a long time. I don't think I've ever seen a clearer document defining the different types of SBA loans. So what Verizon has done here with these classes is they did not skimp on production. All of the classes are really well shopped. They use real small businesses to teach them. They're really great. So there's tons and tons of classes in here. You can, go by the type of topic. A lot of the classes, I'll tell you, so because we're a partner on this, on the back end, I can see what classes the Women's Business Center clients are taking. And I bet if I asked you right now, what type of classes do you think Women's Business Center clients are taking? They are all about money. The top classes that we have with our clients are credit score improvements, how to find capital for my business. It's all about money because, as we know, it's still more difficult for women to get capital for their business than men. It's just the facts of the world we live in. So definitely check this out. Lots of fun classes on here. Now, my favorite though, aside from some of those on-demand classes, are these live classes. The reason being, these classes, you cannot get this quality of instruction really anywhere. They bring in the top of the top experts in each of these areas. So these are classes that are taught live. You do register for them and they do fill up. So if you see one that's sold out, unfortunately, that's it. Usually there's a waiting list, but you can see some of the cool stuff coming up. Obviously, AI is huge right now, you guys. That's going to be all of us that are running businesses. We have to figure out AI. So definitely check out that class coming up next week on May 28th. You can also see I'm super excited that they've got this Juneteenth financial freedom class coming up. It's just awesome. So Now, once you are registered for the platform, you're going to start getting emails from Verizon that talk about their upcoming classes that are live. Highly suggest if you're interested, you sign up because they do fill up and they cut off registrations. So lots going on there. And they just continue to add awesome classes all the time. Again, if any of you have been on this platform for a while, you've seen how much improvement has gone down since the beginning. So this is so great. They also have here at the top, you've got your tabs. So the learning tab is obviously where we just were. There is also a community tab. And what that does is it directs you to a Slack channel. So if you're the type of person that loves to be on Slack, wants to connect with other small businesses, definitely check it out. That's a way to connect as well. And then offers. Now, this is where you could go, like, say you were interested in like a phone or anything through. They've got some offers here. You can check them out. We don't really talk about them that much. So again, learning is where you're at. That's where you want to be for all those courses. And again, imperative that you take 2 of them in order to qualify for the grant. All right. So now what we're going to move to is talking about the grant itself. And one disclaimer I always make, you guys, is just like every other grant we've seen, we've all seen the millions of grants, the Hello Alice grants, the MasterCard grants, all of these grants that come out. All of them, just like this one, get thousands of applications. So I just like to be sure to say, like, there's no guarantee you're going to get this over and over again. So again, this is going to put out, if you've applied a bunch, I know that they are taking that into account. Okay. So don't get discouraged if you're not selected. Again, it's just one of those things where there's anywhere between 15,000 and 20,000 people applying. Here's the good news. They are very intentional with their selection, that it's not all from one market, right? So if they based it off of just random, then 90% of the winners would come from LA or New York City. They are intentional of spreading them out across the country, making sure there's a diverse pool of regionals, of demographics, of all the different ways to make sure it's fair for everybody in the country. So just wanted to do a disclaimer there, because sometimes we've had a couple people in the past think that if they apply, they're going to get it. And I just don't want anyone to go in with that mindset. So you'll see here, if you click that grants tab, oh, that is a great question. She asked in the chat, is it just one prize? Thank you for bringing that up. I need to add that to my slides. No, 50 people win every time. So 50 businesses will get $10,000. They do that every time. Yeah, it's really great. Last cycle, 2 of our women's business centers had a client that won, which was just so exciting. So I can't wait to find out who they were so we can do some press about that. Just really awesome. Okay, so you can check out this page, obviously. So you click grants and you scroll down a little bit. There's some FAQs here you might want to read. And then right here is where you're going to see start your application. Now you can see here are those 2 classes that I've already taken. It shows you which ones I did. So if you haven't done it yet, then yours will say, like, it'll be like X'd out. It'll just mean that you still need to take a class. One trick I want to make sure you guys all know is, because it was a little tricky, this actually happened to me. I took that Understanding Your Business Credit Score class that you see there, and I came back to make sure that my box had been checked, right? And it wasn't. And I was like, okay, what the heck? I mean, how come it didn't complete? So it turned out, like, at the end of every class, there's like a small survey, I think, like or like a little quiz. If you don't take that, you're not done. So make sure you fully complete the class. And if you think your class has been completed, but your box doesn't say completed here, just go back. There's probably like one more little piece you need to do. So that's just a hot tip, because I did it myself yesterday and I was like, what the heck? How come it's not working? So just make sure you fully complete the class by doing whatever their last little bit is. So once you, and what's really easy is, I guess a lot of people have done that because they've added this disclaimer here. So if you think you should be done, you can just click My Library here and it's going to take you right to the class that you need to finish. So that's super helpful. Once you are ready to do your grant application, you can you just click here and click Get Started. And I'm going to walk you guys through this grant so that you can feel prepared to do the best grant possible. And again, just a reminder, this is due by June 28th. So you don't need to rush to do it tonight. You can have it anytime between now and June 28th. So I'm sure all of you, if you've been in business for a little while, have done a lot of grant applications. This one, not much different from many of the others that are out there. So there's not going to be a lot of surprises, but I want to show you a couple areas that are crucial for you to, if you get into a finalist round, or you say it's like you and another person, like how to set apart from the competition. So first, of course, all your disclaimers, just making sure that you understand that if you were chosen as a finalist, you're going to have to do some verification, right? So make sure everything that you say on your application is true. Like, let's say if you say you're an LLC, they're going to ask for your LLC paperwork. All that type of stuff. So make sure you have all of that in order and that you're truthful about anything you put on your application, because they're going to verify it. So they're just asking about all that. Of course, conflict of interest. If you have a spouse or somebody that works at Verizon or LISC, you can't apply. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to mention. So people are probably going, what is LISC and what does that have to do with Verizon? So LISC is just another giant nonprofit. You guys probably have never heard of LISC, but they do so much in the communities. I didn't know about LISC until I got into this world, but they do small business lending. They do a lot of affordable housing construction. So a lot of dollars that come from the federal government for community improvement and stuff like that flow through LISC, and they're contracted on this project to provide the grant. So that's why you see LISC providing this grant in partnership with Verizon, okay? So you, of course, just say, yes, I agree to that, right? I agree to the terms and conditions. Okay, so now let's get into some of the detail here. So with this one, this question right here can be a little confusing, honestly. Are you completing this as the lead business owner? If you're a solopreneur, great, you can say yes. But let's say you're in business with your husband and you're a 50-50 partner. I would choose yourself, right? In this case, because you're the woman, I would say, yes, I'm the lead business owner, and apply on behalf. If you're in a 51-49 partnership or whatever, then you need to answer truthfully. So say you're a 49% owner, you would say no, but you're completing it on behalf of the lead business owner, okay? But if you're in a 50-50 partnership, I would use whoever has the most diverse stuff about them. Are they a veteran? Are they LGBTQ? Are they, all of those things that are really standing out in a grant application. So yes or no on that. That's the question there. I get a lot of question about partnerships. So then here you're going to see the lead business owner information. So again, that's just whoever the primary owner is. In a partnership, just choose one. So then this is all very basic. Your email, what's your best phone number, do you authorize them to text you, etc. Here you can put your website, your socials, all that good stuff. Definitely whichever one of your socials has the most followers, put that one, okay? Because I know they're probably checking on the back end to see what type of following you have, especially if there's like a tiebreaker situation. Again, I'm not on a choosing committee. I don't know what the choosing criteria is. I just know some of the best practice that have been passed down to us from the people who do choose. So make sure you put whatever your biggest following is. And it's no big deal if you don't have a giant following. Like, I don't want you to think that that's necessary. Your legal business name, and then if you have a DBA, right? So again, only if you have it. It could be your name if you're a sole proprietor, whatever you have registered with your state. So that leads me to another point I want to make before we move on. If your business is not registered legally yet, unfortunately, I wouldn't even waste your time putting in this application together. You do have to be in business. You don't have to be over a year or anything like that, but you have to be registered as a business in your state. If you're a sole proprietor, however you're filing taxes, all that good stuff, a legitimate business. If you're saying right now, dang it, that's not me, and I'm not sure, or I don't know what to do, Absolutely. Please go back to what I said earlier. Request assistance on HOPE2Women.org. We'll get you connected with a women's business center and get you set up for success in registering your business. I had this happen last week where a client came to us. She's actually been doing personal training for years. She was excited to apply, but she never actually like registered her business. She was kind of just operating. A lot of people think they can operate just as themselves without getting a license and all those things. But in order to apply for something like this, or say you want to apply for a bank loan at some point, you got to be legalized. It's super cheap to do. One thing I always say, and now I'm kind of going down on a tangent right now, like if you Google file an LLC, don't do that, because what you're going to get is a bunch of results who are going to scam you out of money you didn't need to spend. So like right now, if I Googled file a LLC in Missouri, a bunch of results are going to come up that are going to say, oh, I'm going to do this, this, and this. It's going to cost $700 or $1,000. No, it costs $52 in the state of Missouri to register a business, and the Women's Business Center will help you do that completely for free. So that's just one example of just a way to save money. You don't need to use one of those fancy LLC filing websites. So just a hot tip there. All right, back to the topic. So here you're putting in your business address, all that good stuff. And then is the address the same as what you use on your tax form, all that, yes or no? Then it's going to go into some of those things I talked about that you're going to want to be able to verify. The structure of your business. So that would just be however you have it registered with your city or your state, right? So are you operating as a sole proprietor, essentially operating as a 1099? Are you an LLC, which is almost most people I talk to, all of that stuff. So you would make sure you just look at however you're filed in your state. If you don't know, again, contact us. We'll help you figure it out and select the one that is correct for you. How many years you've been in business, and then what was your gross revenue last year? Let's say you were only in business for 4 months last year. Just count the 4 months. Okay, so just whatever you made last year, whether it was in the full 12 months, in the 1 month, whatever, report that. You can also show if you didn't have positive revenue, if you for some reason took a loss. You can put that. I'll tell you right now, my business last year took a loss, and I could explain why in my content section, which we'll go over in a little bit. Don't be afraid to be honest about that. I think if they see you're applying for the grant for the reason of making changes to up your revenue so that you're in the positive, that's going to be a win here. So that's where you want to choose how much revenue you had last year. And again, that's revenue, not profit. So don't take your expenses or anything out, just how much did money came in the door. Then there's a lot of questions here about how many full-time workers, part-time workers, et cetera, for your business. Very straightforward. And then if you anticipate that this money is going to help you retain. So let's say you're the only person working for your business, which is most of our clients. Right here, it's going to say, how many full-time workers do you anticipate retaining as a result? Definitely put 1, right? Because you're going to retain your own job. Because I'm sure they're doing some type of mathematical equation on the back end to say, who is this grant helping jobs be created or retained, right? You don't want to say no jobs are being retained. The fact of the matter is anybody who's getting this grant is helping support their operations, so they're going to retain their job. It could also retain other jobs. So definitely, I would say don't put 0 there because you're obviously being retained yourself. So at the minimum, you're going to have 1, maybe more. And then if this money is going to help you hire anyone, you can also put that here. So let's look at question 13.2. How many part-time workers do you anticipate hiring? Let's say that you're going to use this money to hire a social media manager for you, but they're a 1099. I would still put that here. That is an employee, even if it's a 1099 contractor, you're still hiring someone on your team. So again, some of these questions can be a little confusing, but just be, as truthful as you can be. But I really wanted to hit on that retaining employees because that does include yourself. Then, of course, you've got what is our primary industry. That's very straightforward. If you don't see yours, you can say other, and there's still even none of the above. I've seen plenty. These are so broad that there's a lot of times when it's not in here. So it's okay if you say other and then none of the above. You will, again, have an opportunity later to talk about what your business is. All right, let's go to the next page. Here's going to be all that demographic, socioeconomic data that we're all used to. What's your age, your gender, LGBTQ status, if you have any disabilities, are you a veteran, et cetera, et cetera. So fill all that out. Again, you're basing that on the lead business owner. So that's always straightforward. These right here, these are also confusing to people, so I want to talk about it. Number 23 and 24. So 23 is if you identify as any of these things. You do not have to have a certification. So 23, do you identify as disability-owned, minority-owned, woman-owned? Everybody on this call, I believe, is a woman, so you would all choose that. Number 24 is if you have a certification, right? So if you have the woman-owned small business certification, this is where you'd say yes or no. I know that almost all of you are probably a no here. That's totally fine. It's just a question. So there's a difference though between 23 and 24. 23 is a self-identification. 24 is if you have been certified. You'll notice that it doesn't ask if it's like a federal certification. You can be certified as a woman-owned business in your town. You can be certified in your state. So if you hold any certification, you can put that yes. This is a big question that we get requests for assistance for is I want to be certified as a woman-owned business. What do I do next? So if that's something you want to talk about, definitely do that request for assistance we talked about on HOPE2Women. There's honestly, what I talk about a lot is you really want to have a purpose for that. Like let's say I'm trying to think of a specific business that there's a lot of reasons it's really only if you're going to sell your business products or services to any type of government one. Oh, awesome. I see somebody in the chat does have the MBE one. Great. So again, if that's something you're interested in, we do classes, and then also on the Verizon platform that I just showed you, there's also classes on there about it. All right, so I think this is the last page, maybe one more, but this is where it gets pretty good. All right. So right here, it's asking you what size grant you want. Obviously, there's only one option. It's the $10,000. You can't ask for more, can't ask for less. Now, number 26, what is the primary purpose of this grant request? I'm going to shift back to my slides here for a second. So, prevent full screen. Oops, sorry. Okay, so you can see here, is it showing a chart now? I just want to make sure. I think so. So, okay, perfect. Thank you. Crystal, I can see you nodding. So here's the eligible use for grant funds and other considerations. So what you can say you're using the money for is all of these things: wages, inventory, really anything to do with your business. You can even see past due bills are an eligible expense, okay? What it can't be used for is if you're in a startup phase. So if you haven't started your business, you can't use it for that. And also to pay any debt associated with closing a business. So say you're trying to close a business down and you owe your vendors, you can't use it for that. Luckily, I don't think that's any of you. But you can also see it's for for-profit business owners, that you have to have the direct deposit form, all that good stuff. But most importantly, let's see, what was I going to say here? Oh, this is all in good faith. So I wouldn't share this back with Verizon. I'm not going to. For me, I would not say, if I was filling out this grant application, I would not say that I'm using the money for past due bills. I just wouldn't. I think I would be saying that I'm either doing overhead for my business, hiring people, getting inventory, investing in marketing. I think that it's essentially to a committee of people who are choosing a winner, it probably looks better. And the reason I say that is no one is going to come ask you to prove where you spent the money. Obviously, we're all here to grow our businesses. We want you to use that to grow your business. But again, nobody's going to come say, hey, Laura, where did that money go? Show us some receipts. That's not the case, okay? If you are chosen as a finalist, what happens then is they are going to reach out to you and ask for those items that we already talked about, your social security number, if you have an EIN number, your LLC documentation, a bank account that matches your business name. So again, let's stop right here. I, with my business, was the queen of commingling my finances, okay? I was running business expenses through my personal checking and all of that. You definitely need to have a bank account in your business name. So if you have an active business that you've been running, but you haven't done the business bank account yet, go start that bad boy tomorrow and apply for this grant in a month, right? Like make sure that you are on the up and up, that you have the commercial bank account, so that if you got chosen for a finalist, how devastating would it be if they said, I need to see your business bank account and it doesn't exist? So make sure you've got that all lined out with your local bank. All right, let's go back to the grant. So the reason I went into all of that is because right here is where you're going to choose what you are going to use this money for. And that is where like I said, I would say either wages and benefits, inventory, or rent, supplies, etc., or talk about marketing, like anything you're going to do to grow your business. So again, I would maybe avoid past due bills. I think that's on here. This is a standard form that they use for many grants. I think there is a grant possibly they've had in the past that helped people get caught up. I don't think that's the purpose of this one, right? So just another like hot tip, don't like disqualify yourself, even though we don't know if that's for sure a qualification thing. If you choose other, you can type right here what that's going to be. Like I said, I really like marketing. And so honestly, most grant people do like to see investment in marketing, building the business, whatever. But again, wages, hiring an employee, anything that's indicating growth, go for that, right? Then it's asking you what type of business location you've got. Do you own commercial property? Are you renting? This is all fine. It is totally fine if your business is home-based. That is the vast majority of women-owned businesses, so don't be afraid to check that. I've run my businesses out of my home for years. And then here is going to talk about, to the best of your knowledge, as compared to last year, how's it doing? Did it increase? Has it remained the same? So just to the best of your knowledge, as compared with last year, has your business grown? And you can see the percent ranges. This one right here, number 29. So this is a tricky one because you can see, how did you hear about LISC Business Grant Program? Now you might choose Instagram if you came from our Instagram. What I ideally wish it said here was I heard about it from the Women's Business Center Network. They don't have that as an option. So you could either say none of the above, and we'll talk about these two questions here, or of course, Instagram is fine as well, just however you heard about it. But this is not reflective of where most people are coming. It really doesn't matter in terms of grant selection, so don't worry about it. Now, here is the most important part of the entire presentation is 30 and 31. You only have 1,000 characters here, all right? But these boxes are what set you apart from everybody else that is filling this out. So general comments and other information that you want to share. If you put NA here, kiss it goodbye, okay? Like they're not going to look at it. This is your chance, like every other opportunity, to share about your passion behind your business. Why are you doing this business? Do you have a unique story, like your mother helped you start it, or you're following her footsteps, or you have a passion for cooking, or just all of the things. I think I saw in the chat someone does inclusive clothing. Like talk about that. And again, it's short. 1,000 characters is not much, but you can tell a story in there. I'm happy, as well as the rest of our team, if you want to run by us what you're going to put in there, definitely shoot us an email and say, what do you think of this? And we'll help you refine it. But anything you can say that sets you apart, if you're an immigrant, if you, like I said, if you're a veteran, if you've seen active duty, just anything that sets your business apart from the competition, put that in this number 30, okay? Number 31 is how you connect with your local community. So if you're providing services to children, if you're giving back to the domestic violence shelter, anything that your business is doing to help a nonprofit, how you volunteer your time, all of that stuff, definitely put that in here. You can also add ways that you are connecting in your community. So say you are part of the Chamber of Commerce woman group for your chamber. All those different ways that your community involvement is happening. And also right here, what would be great is if you, they love it when you put that you're working with a resource partner, and that's us, right? Or any of the other ones. So if you've worked with a women's business center, if you've worked with a SCORE chapter, if you've worked with a small business development center, any of these people, maybe whoever helped you get certified, all that type of stuff, definitely plug that in here. So essentially, any ways you're giving back to your community and any ways your community has given back to you. I would use all 1,000 characters if I could, because again, this is going to be the thing when these are sitting in front of a committee, that's what they're looking at, is these two boxes the most, all right? So I really wanted to go over that part. Okay, yep, I got something coming in chat. Then you'll see, I'll wait for your, yeah, absolutely. What I plan to do. Yes, yes, yes. What this money, what you plan to do with the money, aside, you know, obviously up here you chose a little box, but if you're saying, I'm going to buy some piece of machinery that is going to allow me to do XYZ. Like my pasta lady I mentioned earlier, she did a different grant that she won where she bought a very specialized like $9,000 piece of pasta equipment and she got funding. Okay. So things like that, like they love that. Grant committees love that stuff. So definitely, oh yeah, absolutely. That too. I see she said in the chat, I mean, in regards to giving back to the community, definitely. Absolutely. All I really wanted to say is put as much detail as you can. They want the warm and fuzzies. And unfortunately, we just see like so many women just go, like either leave it blank or say like, you know, nothing at this time, like you're out, like they're not going to choose you. So making sure to be thorough. And again, you can email me at the hello@hope2women.org. I'll put all this in the chat at the end and we'll help you refine it if you'd like. The very last thing, of course, is just you're signing your name saying, I have entered everything as truthfully as possible, and you hit submit, and that is it. So the really cool thing, again, you guys, this project is through 2030. So at this point in time, they do this grant cycle twice a year. So we're in this one now. They will definitely do another one in the fall. It's typically 2 per year. So as far as we know, this will continue to happen. And so I really do highly encourage you, even if you're not selected this time, just keep applying every round because I know they mentioned that they're taking into account people that have just like continued to come back and come back and come back. Especially if your business continues to grow. So definitely just wanted to add that, you know, don't just run away. And again, at the end of the day, yes, we all want money, but I do think the classes are really worth your time. The ones I've taken, I have really loved for my business. In fact, they did one. Like I mentioned, I'm in the Airbnb and like rental world, and they actually had a live class a couple months ago that was about commercial real estate acquisition, which I just thought was so cool because it's kind of like a step up. And I learned so much because that's kind of where I want to see my business go in a few years, is like getting into a maybe like a small hotel or something like that, right? We're all dreaming. I definitely don't have money for that, but someday I will, and I am going to work towards it. So all that to say that they have like really specialized, really niche classes. So definitely make sure you check out kind of what they have coming up. So last but not least here, I just wanted to share our contact information, like I just mentioned, where you can just use the hello@hope2women.org. That comes right to me and my coworker, Jackie. And then also, I think almost all of you did come through our Instagram account, but if you didn't, please follow us because I do little $500 giveaways on there all the time as well. The Instagram is just HOPE2Women, but on that one, we have to spell out the TO. On the website, it's hope2women.org. But that's our Instagram account. Like you can see right here, this lovely lady on the right, she won our $500 grant last month. Her story is so cool. And we also do our own classes that aren't related to Verizon at all. So definitely follow that if you haven't already, because I do giveaways, classes, all types of really cool stuff. So just to wrap everything up, and then I'll answer any questions that you guys might have. The takeaways, HOPE2Women.org/Verizon. Use that link to get signed up for the platform if you haven't already. If you want to get connected to a women's business center for that free one-on-one business coaching, HOPE2Women.org. Let's see. Let me just use the chat again. So that's our main website. Click request assistance to get signed up for coaching. And then HOPE2Women.org/Verizon. That's to the landing page for Digital Ready. Oh, absolutely. It's my pleasure to host this. I love working with you guys. I really love, my favorite part is when you come on for the one-on-one coaching. Like that's where we really get into it. And the Instagram, and I'm trying to think of anything else. And I do have, since you guys are all giving this good feedback, I do have a little survey here, if you don't mind taking that either before you leave, or I'm also going to send a email to all of you by tomorrow sometime that will kind of summarize all this information with the links and everything you would need. So thank you, Mary. I appreciate the nice comments in the chat. And again, thank you all for who posted what your business is, what you're working on. Love that. Again, like I said, coming soon. I'm hoping by the end of this year, we're going to actually have a HOPE2Women like live community where we can all talk in real time and have like conversations and ways to connect. So that's kind of phase 2 of HOPE2Women coming soon. But other than that, that is all I got. Anybody have questions? Forward to meeting with you one-on-one, or seeing you on the Instagram, or hopefully you take some awesome, or when you're a grant winner. I hope that too. Let's see, business here, but I'm not a US citizen. Can I still apply? Let me look really quick. I want to say you can. I'm going to follow up with you on that. And I have your email in the sign up. So I'm going to email you when I confirm that with the Verizon team. Okay, Daniela? I want to say you can, as long as you've got like the legal documentation. I don't know what the right terminology is, like the green card or the licensings or whatever. I'm not sure with the immigration verbiage. I'm sorry. But yeah, I think you can, especially if you have a business here. Awesome. You guys have been really great. I hope to see you all soon, and really look forward to the future. So I look forward to those requests. But yeah, thank you all so much. And look for that email from us tomorrow. All right. Thank you. Thanks, Crystal. Bye-bye.